Hi, and welcome to Anne's Family Recipe. Today, Ben and I are going to show you how to make French dip sliders. I thought it would be really fun to create a couple of recipes to represent the two teams playing in the Super Bowl this weekend. So today's savory recipe represents the LA Rams. I'm sharing with you French dip sliders, and this is inspired by the French dip sandwiches from Philippe's in LA. This restaurant is known for their French dip sandwiches. It's over 100 years old, and their sandwiches start with this really crusty bread that's dipped in the au jus, which is the juices of the incredible roast beef, and then it's topped with piles of meat and cheese if you want, and it is just so decadent and delicious. The first thing we're gonna do is take this 12-pack of Hawaiian buns and cut them in half, lengthwise. So you wanna help me? This is actually a plastic knife that was designed to cut through like iceberg lettuce. So it's not super sharp. So Ben's gonna try to help me today. Here, are you left-handed? Oh my gosh, this will be my second child who is left-handed. I don't know if I can do that because I'm not left-handed. Let's just see if we can use our right hand. Okay, so we're gonna hold the buns on the top. Oh, good job, Benny. And we're just gonna slice through. This was kind of a last minute decision to use this particular knife, so we'll see what the end result is. It might be a little bit messy here, but I think it's gonna work. We're making our way through here. Of course, you can also just use a traditional serrated knife to cut your buns. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Look, Ben. We got the tops and the bottoms. I have a 9 by 13 inch glass baking dish over here that I've sprayed very well with cooking spray, and we're gonna put the bottoms of the buns inside. So do you wanna do that for me, Ben? Yep, help me out. Okay, so we'll just place them in there.
4.
And next, before we put the tops on, we're gonna put the meat and the cheese inside. So today I'm using thinly sliced roast beef and some provolone cheese. Now, typically on a French dip sandwich, you wouldn't necessarily have cheese, but for these particular sliders, the cheese is incredible. It adds great flavor, it adds that really nice gooey texture, and it kind of acts as the glue holding our sandwiches together. So I'm using just a mild provolone today. You ready to stack up our Sammies? Here, maybe I'll do the meat and you can do the cheese, okay? Yeah. I got a ½ pound of roast beef, so I asked them to cut me 12 slices and it ended up being a ½ pound. And this works out perfectly. So there's a little bit of meat on every sandwich. And next is our cheese. You wanna take a piece? Put it right on top, okay? Nice. 5. We're learning how to count here. Here we go, ready? Go ahead, put it on. Good job. Last one. Nice. Good job, you did do it. Okay, there we go. So we've got our roast beef and our provolone cheese. We're gonna put our tops onto our sandwiches. Okay, do you wanna help me? We're gonna flip them over and then, that's good, put them down. Good, nice and gently. Ooh, those sandwiches look tasty already, don't they?
Good.
Yeah. So all that's left to do is make the flavorful butter-based sauce that gets drizzled all over top. In this glass measuring cup, I have ½ a stick or ¼ cup of melted unsalted butter. And to that, Ben and I are gonna sprinkle in about 1 or 2 teaspoons of onion flakes. I think they're, what are they called? Minced onion. There we go, okay. And then this is garlic powder, so I'm gonna sprinkle in about a ¼ teaspoon. There you go, good job. And then you wanna hold this too. This is Worcestershire sauce. So we're gonna pour in about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. There we go. Good?
Like applesauce.
Looks like applesauce. Here, do you wanna take a fork? And we're gonna use this to kind of whisk it together. Go ahead, stir it around. This last ingredient is totally optional, but I have some poppy seeds on hand. You want to do the poppy seeds? Here, hold your hand out. Ready? Pour a little bit in your hand and then dump them in. Good. Yep. So I'm just going to use about a teaspoon of poppy seeds. It adds this really nice little crunch and kind of pop of color on top. So since I have them, I'm going to use them. So Benjamin and I are going to pour this delicious liquid all over the top of our sandwiches. Does it smell good, Ben? Yeah. And see, the onions and the poppy seeds kind of sank to the bottom, so you want to kind of evenly distribute them all over the top. Yummy. Yeah. I love your enthusiasm. Thanks for baking with me. So our sandwiches are all prepped to go in my 350-degree oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm going to cover them with foil. Okay. And then after about 10 minutes of baking, I'll remove the foil and let them go just for a couple minutes longer so they get nice and crispy on top. It is hot, huh? Be careful. To make these French dip sliders a little bit more like a traditional French dip sandwich, I'm going to serve them with a side of au jus. So I'm starting with a little bit of beef broth, maybe about a cup. It really depends on how many sandwiches you're making. It'll reduce down a little bit, so I think a cup is good. Okay, so we've got our beef broth, and I'm just going to bring this really just to a simmer. We just want to kind of warm it through. And to that, I'm gonna add another splash of Worcestershire sauce because it really gives it that nice kind of savory flavor. So that was about a half a teaspoon. And I'll just use my fork again to whisk that together. And I think I'm gonna give it a taste just to see how salty it is. That is totally up to you. Beef broth is typically very high in sodium and kind of salty as is, but if you wanna season it up a little bit more yourself, go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and maybe some freshly cracked pepper too. And lastly, for a little extra flavor, just a pinch of garlic powder. And then I'll stir that all together. Oh, that's really good. Super savory. Nice and salty, it's gonna pair perfectly with our sandwiches. My sandwiches are finished baking at 350 degrees, took about 10 minutes under foil, and then I removed the foil and cooked them for another 2 to 3 minutes. So all the cheese is melting and everything inside is heated through. My house smells phenomenal, so I cannot wait to try these. I'm gonna cut one for myself right now. Oh, I already cut one for myself, I forgot. So I'll just scoop it out. And then I have a little dish over here. Is this hot? No, that's okay. Okay, so for my little au jus, this sauce is totally optional. Obviously, this isn't quite as like finger food friendly, but it is really fun, especially for kids. I think my kids are gonna love this tonight, having this little side dish of sauce that they can dunk their sandwich into. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit in for myself. Okay, nice and warm. Okay, so now I'm gonna give my LA-inspired French dip slider a try. A little juice. Wow. That packs so much flavor in that initial bite. It's all over my lips, I can feel it. Okay, it is really, really good. Okay, you definitely have to make these for your party. And whoever's team you're a fan of, don't worry about the Rams or the Patriots. Just make these incredibly delicious sandwiches because they're totally worth it. And that dipping sauce really adds a nice little savory edge to the sandwich. A little extra salty flavor. These are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen, and I'll see you again soon with another Super Bowl recipe. For the full recipe, check the description box below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen.